Welcome to One Girl in All the World, a Buffy the Vampire Slayer rewatch podcast where we recap each episode in order and discuss. I'm Ashley, Buffy superfan.
Kimmy, Buffy newbie.
You can find us on all major podcast apps, YouTube and Instagram, with new episodes on Tuesdays. Okay, we're talking about Storyteller, gentle viewers, which you hated.
I did.
I think this episode has a lot of funny parts.
We can agree to disagree.
Yeah, it's really like the last light episode of the show.
It was just too light. I don't know. It didn't move anything for me. Like, it didn't move anything forward, really. It just seemed like a palate cleanser, but like not like a good one.
Okay.
Just my opinion.
Yeah,
That's okay. They can't all be greats.
I like Andrew. I think he's funny.
I find him very annoying.
Okay. Well, this is an Andrew episode, so that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay, so Storyteller originally aired February 25th, 2003, written by Jane Epsonson and directed by Marita Garabek. The synopsis is, Andrew attempts to document the life and work of Buffy, Slayer of the Vampires, much to the annoyance of Buffy. Meanwhile, students at Sunnydale High begin exhibiting signs of going to school above the Hellmouth. Signs Buffy has seen before, but not all at once like this. Buffy and Principal Wood discover the seal of Danzazar and is the cause, and is sets out to find a way to stop it. Okay. All right, so we started in a library where we noticed there were some Star Wars posters.
Oh, it reminded me of like Masterpiece Theater?
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. Like okay. But there's like some Star Wars posters. There's books. There's a fireplace. We go to this like wingback chair, and Andrew is sitting there, in his own Masterpiece Theater. And he's like, "Oh, hi. I was just reading my book here. I didn't see you there. I was just going to tell you a story about Buffy, Slayer of the Vampires." So we go to the graveyard where he's like, the wind was cruel. And Buffy's walking in the fighting vampires. And Andrew's narrating it. And then they hear a knocking, and he's like interrupted. And then we see him in the bathroom with a camcorder and sitting on the toilet. And Anya's like, "Get out of there. Like, come on. You've been in here for half an hour. What are you doing?" And so he's just in the bathroom. And then he has this whole elaborate fantasy world about his set. And he's just sitting in the bathroom.
Yeah, weirdo.
Yeah. So we go to the credits and we come back. Buffy's in the graveyard that we just saw her. And she dusts a vamp. And Andrew is nearby filming. And she's like, "Stop it." And I do like that immediately he says, "Why do vampires show up on film?" Right? Because that's like part of the lore. They don't show up in photographs and and mirrors and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's at least put that question out there, even though nobody answers. But at least we can be like, you know what I mean? It was, addressed, sort of. And she gets really annoyed about him filming, and feels like he needs to document everything that's happening. So at Buffy's, Andrew is dragged out of the bathroom. And he says, he tells Anya that, like, this is for future generations. Like, if we save the world, like, people should know. Yeah. And she's like, "It sounds like stupid, blah, 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 blah." And he's like, "Well, I was going to interview you for it." And she's like, "Oh, well, I could do that. I could help you out." And so now she's all okay with it because she's going to be in it. In the basement, Andrew is filming on his camcorder, and he explains the big board. So he goes through the whole situation about the Hellmouth with the high school on top, and like the Uber Vamps and the First and the Bringers. He goes through, he has his little dry erase markers, and he's drawing everything out, and he shows everything. And he said, "We're going to do some..." Oh, well, actually, not yet. So we're in the kitchen, and all the girls are making breakfast, so it's kind of like chaotic. Buffy and Spike come in, and Andrew says it's time for introductions. And he, like, points the camera, or like Amanda's like, "Oh, me? I was raised right here in Sunnydale." And he's like, No, not you. Sorry, not you." Poor Amanda. But then he has this like slow motion montage of Buffy eating her Wheaties
with the wind blowing on her. The wind
blowing, beautiful lighting, and then Spike's there with his shirt off, and he's like, they have a history. There's some kind of connection. And then Anya's there eating grapes, saying like she has a gentle side that she hides even from herself. And he moves on to this random girl who we don't know. And he's like, "I don't know what this girl's name is." And then they're like, "Stop it." So we go back to like normal, and everyone starts to support it. Like Anya, Willow says it helps the girls with training.
Mm-hmm.
And Xander says, you know what, we've saved the world so many times. It would be
Without
nice,
proof.
to have a record of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Buffy's like, Spike, what about you? Like, do you agree with me? And he's like, just leave, keep me out of it. It keeps him busy, keep me out of it. And she's like, okay. Well, nobody supported me. And then Buffy starts on another speech about, she finally tells them about her vision, what she saw in her vision, and how what they're doing isn't enough. And Andrew's like, oh, she's doing a speech. Let's just go outside. Let's just go here. These go on for a while. And he's like, now it's a good time to talk about me. I used to be evil. I used to be an evil genius. And so he, in his, again, elaborate fantasy world, he shows him, Jonathan, and Warren, in a laboratory cooking up.
He's like the mastermind.
Yeah, he's the ringleader, and they're both adoring him, and they think he's so cool. And he's come up with this foolproof plan to get Buffy. And then we come back, and Buffy's still talking. But he notices that Willow and Kennedy are kind of flirting and kind of touching on the side bar there. So it seems like they're fine again.
Yeah.
And yeah, he did say, he says, oh yeah, Kennedy saw the dark side of Willow and it freaked her out, but it seems like they're fine now. So maybe Kennedy seems like she just had to sleep it off, wake up in the morning and everything was fine. And then he says, yeah, he's talking about how Willow was dark. And he says, I actually had my own encounter with Dark Willow.
Yeah.
And then we get a retelling of Jonathan and Andrew, their encounter with Willow in the magic box in season 6, where Andrew stands up to Willow and deflects her magic. Apparently and all this.
Counter spell her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, when Willow said that, it was Anya. I think it was Anya doing the spell or something. But yeah, Andrew's it was me. It was me. I kept
mm-hmm.
I was on the equal. We were equals, when I was fighting her.
God. Or well, even not even equals though, because he could just easily.
Yeah, he just poo-pooed her away because he's so powerful. So at school, Buffy has to go to school to work. At school, Buffy breaks up a fight in the middle of the hallway, and then she sees a girl disappearing, phasing in and out, and she's like, "Oh no!" So she runs over to the girl and slaps her, and she's like, "Oh, you noticed me," because this is all stuff that we've seen before.
Yeah.
And then a girl comes out of the bathroom and says the mirror called her fat. The mirror called her fat. Not somebody in the mirror. The mirror did.
So mean.
Yeah, and so she's all upset.
She does not look fat.
No. And then there's this boy that's super stressed. He's like, this math test got moved up. I have a paper due tomorrow. And he's like, woo. Buffy's like, oh, just relax. Just relax. And he's like, what? And then she's just get a foot rub. So she goes into the office and Wood is there with bleeding from his head.
Yeah, because he had a rock thrown at him.
Someone threw a rock at me when I got out of my car this morning.
Oh my God.
And he's like, yeah, the Hellmouth is making people go crazy and we have to do something. And he's like, yeah, I ducked the other 2 rocks. This is getting out of control. And kids are fighting outside and running around. Yep. And then that stress boy explodes from the stress and his guts go all over the outside of the office.
It's gross.
And she says, oh, should have had that foot rub. So yeah, things are spiraling out of control at the school. So at Buffy's, Andrew intros Dawn, and she's like, hi, and he's like, she used to be a key, and whatever. It was kind of who cares? And he's like, look at this new window that Xander put in. It's so great.
And it's Willow and Kennedy making out.
Yeah, and Willow and Kennedy are on the couch making out, and he just totally bypasses them.
Yeah, he's just the window.
Yeah. So at school, all the energy, Buffy and Wood talk about, all the energy coming from the seal. So they have to do something about it. So at Buffy's, Andrew interviews Anya and Xander, which immediately he talks about, it's been a year since the wedding.
Yeah.
Or the wedding that wasn't. And he's like, how do you feel about it? Xander is like, whoa, I didn't know we were going to talk about that. I didn't agree to be filmed about the wedding, about standing her up at the wedding. And yeah, but Anya's like, yeah, how do you feel about it? And he's like, I've said I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, so you were wrong. He's like, no, I did the right thing.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry I hurt you, but it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And Anya says that we still spark. And then Andrew asks him, like, do you still love her? And then that's where we leave off. In the basement at the school, Wood and Buffy are at the seal, and she tells him about the vision that she had about the Hellmouth and all of the Uber vamps.
Yeah.
And Wood goes down and like gets down close to the seal and it's like, have we studied it? Have we looked at like the markings and everything on it? And Buffy says there's been no luck. It's like a goat's head or something. We've had no luck because everybody loves a goat's head, so we haven't been able to narrow that down. And he said, well, can you trust her? And she's like, trust Willow? Yeah. He's like, well, all you guys have really been evil at one point or another. And she's like, I haven't. And he says, he looks up and his eyes are white.
They're creepy.
And he says, what about you sleeping with that vampire? You're a vampire whore. And then he like charges at her and she kind of pushes him into the wall and he snaps out of it.
Oh my God.
Can't get so
close to the seal.
Yeah, don't be getting all up in its business. Because he's like, oh my God, like what happened? It was controlling you. Mm-hmm. So he's like, we have to close this. Like, this is dangerous. Yeah. And then the little pig that Andrew tried to kill, like many episodes ago, was like, Wee!
And it looks like the same exact size, interestingly.
Yeah. And he says, oh God, I hope that wasn't a student.
Oh, yeah.
I loved that. That was so funny. Okay, then at Buffy's, Andrew is filming Spike.
This scene's funny.
And Spike's like smoking a cigarette. He's like, hey, get away from me. He's like, get off. Shut up.
I don't want to be filmed.
I don't want to be filmed. And then he's like, oh, Spike, the light wasn't great. And he's like, oh, okay. And he like backs up. He says, better?
Rearranges himself. Yeah.
Hey, I told you not to be filming me. Because he hates it. Yeah. Air quotes. Mm-hmm. Like
Baker.
Yeah. He wants to be part of it, but he doesn't want to look like it. So Anya and Xander, we see a little clip of Anya and Xander continuing to talk about the relationship.
Yeah.
And Xander says he still loves her. Yeah. And Anya says, I love you too.
But it might not mean
anything. It might not be enough. It might not mean anything anymore. And Xander says, I'm not going to find anyone like you, am I? She's like, not likely. And they're just kind of still like grappling. They're starting to come to terms with that it probably is over. Yeah. But then we see that Andrew was hiding the camera during this conversation. And so he's watching it back. And it looks like Anya and Xander finally found like a ceasefire, like a peaceful place for now. But he's just like rewatching it. And he's playing Anya's part. Like he's like lip syncing to Anya's part.
So weird.
Oh, he's got a little thing for Xander. And so then Buffy and Wood. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention that's important. In the last scene, when Buffy and Wood said we need to like get the person that fed the seal its first drop of blood was Andrew. Oh yeah. Right. So at this point, Buffy and Wood burst through the door and confront Andrew. Like, we're going to the seal. You're gonna help us
activate it.
Deactivate it, really.
Deactivate it.
Yeah. So in the basement at school, we see students come in and they start surrounding the seal and they kind of kneel down next to the seal and like put their hands out, like energy starts coming out. And then we go to Mexico, 2002, where Andrew and Jonathan are in Mexico. This is when they were on the run, and they have a prophetic dream of like all the stuff that we've seen happen already, but it hadn't happened yet. Yep. And also we get a split second image of the cheese man from Restless.
Oh yeah, right.
Do you remember him? Like, I do not wear the cheese wears me.
Right.
Yeah, he's in there for a second, which is I love. So then we go back into Buffy's living room where Willow and like the gang are around, but Willow's using a charm for Andrew to look at to like extract these memories. I don't know why he has to extract them when he could probably just tell them what happened, but okay. And then we go back to Mexico. Jonathan goes to the bathroom and Warren starts talking to Andrew about getting a knife.
Ask about the knife.
Yeah, ask about the knife. Go to like this demon and get this special knife. He's like, if you do this and everything goes well, we'll live as gods. And then they have this like live as gods where they like trape around and like I think it's the togas. I think it's funny. But Warren tells Andrew to drive the words deep into him. And Willow's like, okay, that sounds important. And he's like, where's the knife that you killed Jonathan with. And he's like, it's in it's in the kitchen. And Will says, you put your murder knife, your murder weapon in with our utensils. He's like, you didn't have any steak knives.
Oh my God.
And I washed it. So she goes in there, they get the knife, and there is
Also,
like
it looks
writing
very
on it.
different than any other knife.
Yeah, I'm surprised
so
that nobody
notice it.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, in a house like bursting to the seams with weapons, I guess maybe it's possible. And then so the knife has an ancient language on it, which Andrew says, at first I thought it was just markings, but actually it was just a little bit weak, I gotta say. He's like, oh, I didn't notice, but actually it's a one that I speak. Oh, isn't that convenient? And it says, the blood I spill, I consecrate to the oldest evil. And they're okay, we're gonna take you to talk to the seal in this ancient language, and hopefully you can close it down. Like maybe if you read what's on it, or talk into the language that it understands.
Mm-hmm.
So at school, there is absolute chaos. It's Wood, Buffy, Spike, and Andrew. And there's some tension between Wood and Spike still. Yeah. He's like, oh, easy. Like, the kids are like running around crazy and like people running around. Yeah. Like the school is destroyed, really. Yeah.
Principal wants to get like a fire hydrant to start hitting them with.
Yeah. And he's like, the attack. And he's like, oh, easy pickings for you. And Spike's like, I don't do that or whatever. And Wood's like, sure you don't. Okay. So the kids attack. They're all, going crazy. And Buffy tells Wood and Spike to stay there and like make sure they can get out, and takes Andrew into the basement. So going down there, Andrew starts retelling the story about killing Jonathan, like what happened. And again, in his fantasy world, he kind of tells her that he was kind of tricked by Warren.
Accidentally stabbed
Jonathan. And he accidentally stabbed him. He kind of like was going to do it, but then he wasn't going to do it. And then Jonathan kind of tussled with him, and then he accidentally stabbed him. And then he was like, no, so much remorse. Mm-hmm. And then Buffy, it's like, oh, that makes sense because Wood was controlled by the thing. So she's like, oh, maybe that happened to you. And he's like, yes, right. And then he plays the whole thing again where he is possessed by the seal. And Buffy's like, you literally just changed your entire story.
Yeah.
Like, he is such a liar.
Yeah.
Not rooted in reality or responsibility or accountability at all.
No.
But they're about to go into the room with the seal, and they hear people in there. And then they go in, and these people have been turned into bringers because now their eyes are all...
Oh, I missed that.
Cut. Yeah, their eyes are all cut now.
Oh,
so I guess that's how they how they make bringers. So they're like, oh, okay. And then at Buffy's, Anya and Xander have had sex in the basement. On Spike's cot. On Spike's cot, apparently. Poor Spike.
Maybe now they can really move on.
Yeah. They say, like, what is this? They're like, that was nice. Like, what does that mean? Is it one more time? Like, what does it mean?
It's breakup sex, people.
Yeah. And it's closure for them, I guess. Especially with that conversation they just had. Yeah. And they're like, okay, it feels like it's really over. Like, we can move on. Well, but also, remember when they first ever did it, Anya was like, okay, good, I have you out of my system, and now I can move on. So who knows?
Right. Okay.
Who knows? At the school, Wood and Spike are attacked by more students.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just chaos. They're fighting everyone. And then a piece of a wood like kind of like comes off of something, a 2x4, and it's kind of like a stake.
Yeah.
So Wood picks it up, and Spike is distracted by fighting, and he's about to stake him and get his revenge, but he's tackled by another student, so he's not able to do it. Yeah. Almost was bad for Spike.
Yeah. Yeah.
So downstairs, Buffy's fighting the bringers while Andrew films. He's still doing this, still filming it. They are all like run out or they're unconscious. And then she says, you're not here to talk to it. Like, this seal doesn't understand language.
Words. Yeah.
It understands blood. And you're the one that gave it its first drop. So Willow actually, we just told you we need to talk to it to get you down here. Willow found out that it's actually the blood of the person that opened it that can kind of like deactivate it.
They can close it, yeah. The person who opened it can close it.
Yeah. It kind of reverses the power.
And so you got to stop telling stories.
Stop telling stories. And it's like good doesn't always triumph.
No.
Just because good triumphs.
No, and also she points out that he bears or feels no responsibility for what happened. It feels like.
He's like, I lost my best friend. She's like, you didn't lose him.
You
You
murdered
murdered
him.
him. And then she's going to stab him with the knife, right?
Yeah.
She's going to bleed him. And so he finally
Admits what happened.
He said, I knew it wasn't Warren. I wanted to pretend it was him. I murdered Jonathan.
Yeah.
So he finally like comes to terms with it. And he's like, I'm feeling now what Jonathan felt because I'm scared. You're gonna
And he
stab
doesn't
me.
want to sacrifice himself to save the world.
And he starts crying, and Buffy's like holding him over the thing, about to stab him. And then his tears go onto the seal, and it stops. It like the glow goes away from it.
Yeah, it closes or whatever.
Yeah, and so it actually was tears, not blood, that needed to close it. So he just taking him on a merry ride for sure.
He deserved that shit.
He did, of course.
She was never going to stab him.
Yeah, so he's like, you're not going to stab me?
She had me
no,
going, though.
I was going to stab you. Yeah, I mean, she
for
didn't
real,
have to
she
kill
couldn't do
him.
it.
I mean, she could
exactly.
bleed him. Like,
she could a few drops of blood. I don't know.
She could, I mean, it only took 2 tears, so 2 drops of blood probably would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Here, come near and prick your finger. Bloop, bloop, bloop. There you go. But it was important because he finally took responsibility for what he did. He finally owned up to it.
Yeah.
And it shook him, obviously, because he thought he was going to die. And then immediately the students are normal again. Like the power just goes like out of them. And they're like, what's going on? Wandering. So Wood and Spike are like not fighting anymore because immediately the students just start wandering out of the building. So at Buffy's, Andrew is back in the bathroom, confessing to the camera, saying he probably won't live through the fight that's coming, and he probably shouldn't live through it because of the stuff he's done. And he starts to keep talking, but then he just stops himself and he turns off the camera. So he's stopping, this like re-litigation and this rewriting of history that he's been doing forever. So he's finally taken some responsibility and he's going to stop telling stories. So he turns off the camera. That's the end of the episode. So in my favorite quote was in the first kind of like fake flashback where they're in that like laboratory, Jonathan, Andrew, and Warren. And he's like, I made Buffy like magnetic, so everything will stick to her. She won't be able to get out of her car or whatever. And Warren's like, well, if we have belt buckles on, like, what's a stick to her? And he said, in my plan, we are beltless. And that was funny. In my plan, we are beltless. And then my favorite scene was when Anya and Xander finally have like that heart-to-heart that they are secretly being filmed having. Yeah. I mean, that's been a year coming.
Yeah.
I mean, a year ago is when, Hell's Bells happened. So they have not been on good terms the whole time. And this is the first time they've really had a heart-to-heart and realized, like, maybe they can move on from this and, like, not hate each other.
Yeah.
Obviously, Xander doesn't really hate Anya. Well, he's had his moments where he's hated her, I'm sure. But they have that heart-to-heart, which I think was needed because, like, I'm kind of, like, over their squabbling about the past.
Hostility, yeah.
And it was just nice to see. It was nice to see.
My favorite quote was when, like after the Masterpiece Theater thing, you can see that Andrew's just like in a normal bathroom recording and Anya interrupts him and she's like, why can't you just masturbate like the rest of us?
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny.
Leave it to Anya.
And then my favorite scene was actually the end, just like when Andrew finally tells the truth and like takes responsibility for what happened. Yeah.
First time ever. Okay. And then my stick rating was a 4.4. I think it's really funny, but it is lacking a bunch of other stuff, to be fair. I think it's a really funny episode. I think it's funny. I do like Andrew as a character. I think Anya and Xander's kind of resolution was important, like we just talked about.
That's
after
true, yeah.
a whole year. That was an important part of this. And like we just talked, like again, like we've talked about, Andrew finally taking responsibility for his actions and not relitigating history, rewriting history to make him look less blameless or more powerful or more favorable in some way.
Yeah.
He said, like, I knew it wasn't Andrew. I knew it wasn't Warren. I wanted it to be him. So that's what happened. So yeah, that was big. Does that fact change the course of this season? No, not at all. But I think that was the point of the episode.
Yeah.
But does it move the season further? No, to your point. So.
Yeah. I gave it a 3.
Dang!
I did not like this episode. I find Andrew super annoying.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he always is lying, that he doesn't take responsibility for anything, that he killed his best friend.
That's not great.
He's a pretty horrible person, actually. And he's just annoying. So yeah, I'm glad he finally took responsibility and finally owned up to what he did. But like, just it's not enough for me. It
Mm-hmm.
took way too long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'll see if he becomes less annoying after this. But and then yeah, like you said, it was important to see that talk between Anya and Xander. I kind of hope they don't get back together because I kind of would like to just see them have their closure and move on and be friends. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see if that happens. But yeah, I think that was interesting to see Principal Wood almost stake Spike. So
Yeah. Now we were at a simmer, and now we're at a boil.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next episode, who knows? Could be about that.
I mean, I don't think they're gonna kill Spike off, so yeah. I feel 100% confident on that one.
Literally, there is like how many episodes left? Anybody could go at any time.
I don't think it's gonna be Spike.
Okay.
Anyway.
Alrighty. All right. So the next episode is called "Lies My Parents Told Me," which is an excellent episode.
Okay, great. We need
in
one
my
after that.
opinion. Buffy closes, or like, not slams, but the intent is to slam. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, let me just read it. Buffy closes a door in someone's face. And she doesn't slam it, but that is the vibe.
Okay.
She closes it, but it's very much like similar to when she closed the door on Spike's face in season 5, like when she revoked his, his invitation. So she's, not happy with somebody.
I don't know. That's a tough one. Well, I don't think it's going to be Dawn or Willow or Anya or Xander. Actually, let's go Xander.
Xander?
I don't think it is Xander, but I don't think it's Principal Wood or Spike either. So we already did it with Spike. So I guess it could be Spike, but yeah, it could be Spike. But I'll go with Xander. I don't think it's Xander, but I'll go with Xander.
Okay. Xander. You had sex with Anya in Spike's bed. That's disgusing. Slam. Slam. Yeah, I have to wash those sheets, It's not fair.
Yeah.
Not fair. And when they were down there and Anya said, "It's a shame Buffy took down Spike's chains." Or did Xander say that? One of them said that. Okay, so that wraps up Season 7, Episode 16, Storyteller. Again, you can find us on all major podcast apps, YouTube and Instagram, at One Girl and All the World Pod. You can also email us at onegirlpod@gmail.com. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back with Season 7, Episode 17, Lies My Parents Told Me. See you real soon.